Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to start with a story to kind of guide my thoughts for today. So last year when I left this company I was working for, was in kind of a tough space mentally, had fallen apart a little bit, was like unsure of where to go career-wise, just essentially lost and with no kind of like hope for the future necessarily as far as career went. I mean, everything else in my life was going great, but what happened was when I left the company, there was a guy at the company that reached out to me and was like, let me get you a job, let me help you out. And one of the greatest feelings and really just restoring my faith in humanity at that point. And he was like, let me get you this job, I know this person. And so just a super positive, thought there. Some of the opportunities he offered weren't exactly anything that I would want to get into, but just the fact that he was willing to find a job for me and help me out at all was an amazing feeling. Now, the key to this conversation today, and here's the part that I want to talk to you about. So I reached out to a couple of those people, I applied. There was like one of the opportunities that just was not a good fit. Something that I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. It was like selling, it was like for a company called Hunger Rush, like we're going to sell, I don't know, something in the food service industry related, which was an industry that I had left for a while now and was like, I'm not going back to this. And my mistake that happened there, they reached out, he set up a conversation, and full transparency, I just kind of ghosted that. I didn't actually follow up and do anything with that. And it was because, like, not out of disrespect for the guy, but just because, like, I felt so bad of myself at the time and just didn't have the extra energy to give towards an opportunity I didn't believe in. And that kind of hurt this relationship a little bit. I could tell the guy was kind of, like, pissed off a little bit after that. He just, like, he circled back to be nice because he saw I had some momentum in January, but it just ultimately soured the relationship. Now, look, fast forward to today. I had a situation happen, and, I say this like out of just complete like transparency with my life, not out of any kind of disrespect for where people are at or anything. I had this girl who was like amazing person we used to work for. I was kind of like super inspired to see where she was at in her life currently, this was in like January and beginning of February. She's a designer, like super smart person. Not to get into this like too much or the background, because the background doesn't matter so much. So we had agreed, we're like, yeah, let's meet up on this time. First meeting, she's busy, she kind of bailed. Second time we had a meeting scheduled. The first time she actually let me know, she was like, yeah, I can't make it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Second meeting, we're like, okay. We set up a Google Meet, and she just ghosted. To tie it back in, she did what I did back then. So I was offended. I mean, I didn't hear back for a long time, like hours and hours, till like the end of the day. And I was just like, come on, like, I know I'm nowhere in my life right now, but I do deserve some kind of respect because I'm trying to help you too. Like, this isn't just for me to kind of gain, value for myself. Like, this is me setting aside time, doing what I want to do for my values to help those around me as well with their lives. But, I sat there and I thought, and like my initial response was the old me. And it was like, oh yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. Like, I'll always be here. Kind of like the golden retriever lapdog that like didn't really value himself, but was just giving too much to other people. And I was treated as such. I didn't hear back for a while. It was like, you can text me, and just didn't kind of go anywhere for a while. And I was just like, I thought in my head, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, how I did this, so I can't blame her for that. But just like, how can I like step up in my own life and also challenge those around me in the right way? So what I did is, like, the next week, she texted me and she was like, hey, when are you free to meet, this week? As in like, all right, cool. You have unlimited tokens. Like, we're going to take another day. Let's see what happens. And I just stepped up. I got the backbone, and I was like, I want to be better. I want to challenge myself, and I want to challenge those around me to be better. And I want to have very strong boundaries for my time in my life because it is valuable. Even though I'm not a millionaire, I'm not some crazy successful person, I still have to start somewhere and begin valuing my time. So I was like, hey, definitely like, let's meet. But number one, I wanted to say, like, first of all, like, thinking back to the Hunger Rush opportunity, like, do you find value in this, conversation? And if you don't, I promise I won't be offended, but just let me know because, and then number two, it was like, hey, it's okay if you bail, but like, you got to let me know, like, give me the respect to let me know ahead of time if you can, or at the time that we were called, it's just a respectful thing to do. And I think as a professional, you can understand. And then I followed it up with like the real feeling that I have, which is like, I'm here, I care about you. Like, I prepared for the meeting. I was like making memes. I'm just doing what I can to help you. So please respect my time. And it was freaking scary. Like I'm sweating. Like